having some emotional difficulties here.
All right, guys, we're into game number 3. It's 1-1 apiece. Frost takes on that last game in stylish fashion. I kind of want to know where you guys stand now, because I know we got a bunch of people ready to jump over onto whoever's winning these games. So, who's ready to see Frost take down another game back to back here? And who's here to back up Team Azure? This is pretty controversial. So, I am Frank. Alongside me, we've got a new caster. His name is Simo. Simo, how do you feel about this game so far?
Frankly, these games are pretty intense. We almost had a nosebleed on aisle 5. Hopefully that's cleaned up by now. Stay tuned for more information on that. But other than that, these games have been great. I'm looking to see a game 5. I know you guys want to go home, but game 5 is where we want to be. And let's continue the hype.
All right. So bans coming out here pretty telling as to what we do not want to see from both of these teams. Apparently Lysandra was a big factor there. I know that she did get caught out quite a few times, but in those fights, she was a pretty huge deal, I gotta say. What do you feel about that one? I think that's probably a good call, but definitely a different ban here. A lot of new champs open. What do you think about that?
If I'm not mistaken, for the past 2 games, Lysandra has been played, right? So we've been seeing Lysandra a lot more in competitive play, or in solo queue rather, and it's interesting to see the way that people play her, and the fact that she's been banned. It just means that blue team does not really want to see Nea in the top lane picking up that Lysandra once again.
However, they let Nami slide, Zed slips through as well, and Pantheon actually comes back into the fray here. So Pantheon's a pretty big deal, and that's actually going to be going to Frost this time around. So Morning Melon is going to, I think, be pretty happy that he's allowed to play Pantheon in this one, though still sticking with the Jarvan, Lee Sin, Janna, Thresh, and LeBlanc bans. LeBlanc, the only consistent ban alongside Lee Sin. Pretty strong champion choice, it looks like, for Azure.
The reason why LeBlanc is banned is because Viper is a very, very mechanically inclined player. He can play a lot of different characters. We saw him on Anivia doing fairly well, a lot of ult moments and a lot of at moments, so great plays from Viper on Anivia there, and that's why LeBlanc is banned. Getting rid of those skill shot champions. We're going to see, if we see a Rengar, and a Tryndamere, it's going to be quite a fun game, definitely. It's going to be split pushing all day until... We're going to be raising some melons, not raising some dominers today. Rek'Sai locked in, and the Rumble. What are your thoughts on that, Frank?
I think Rumble's pretty straightforward. Fava, I gotta say, was pretty much leading the team there for the longest time, so for him to come out here, not a big surprise. I wouldn't mind seeing a switch-up pick, though, just to kind of change the pace of things. These teams have got to have some kind of, just wild card pick. Could be TF, could be somebody like who I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't know, man. It could be somebody crazy, though. Nia hovering over Fizz right now would not be a terrible choice. I wouldn't mind seeing some nice assassination champs in this game to match the assassination potential of Zed.
Surprisingly enough, Fizz is incredibly versatile, can be played jungle, can be played top lane, can be played in a variety of lanes, but obviously we're probably going to be seeing him mid, more or less. And that will be locked in for Miko. Let's see what Zed is a response to Fizz. Fizz is a response to Zed. It's going to be interesting to see what the mid lane looks like. We have seen a lot of ganks in the mid lane, so the mid lane is definitely going to be the lane to watch amongst these two teams. The junglers both pressure the mid lane to get their laners fed, and obviously Viper can snowball a game very well as Miko, doing those split pushing techniques in the game previously.
And we're going back to Season 1 here with this bottom lane. Annie and Sibber, interesting choice. I don't know if they're actually going to lock that one in or if Annie's a placeholder of some kind, but I cannot remember the last time I saw a really effective bot lane Annie. They could be switching things up. I don't know. They could maybe throw Zed or Rumble in the mix in bottom lane. I really doubt it. But they do lock it in, so Annie will be seeing this game unless it's a placeholder. And now we've just got one last choice here. It's going to be the top lane for the side of Frost. I'm not sure which way they're going to go with it, but Kassadin could be an option.
What I'm liking from Azur's side is the chase potential that they have here. They can catch up very quickly, they can engage, re-engage, and they have a lot of CC to deal with as well, but mainly they're going to be relying on the Annie stun tibbers to really lock down the Fizz and the Corki. We'll see what the team fights look like, but if the Victor is locked in, it's going to be an interesting kind of switch up in the top lane to be against that Rumble. What do you think about Victor against Rumble in the top lane?
I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you. The last time I saw, they're locking it in. So again, if it's not a placeholder, then this is actually going to be Victor versus Rumble. And I think Victor could hold his own. I mean, he's got that shield for himself to deal with the timer on the Rumble Q. So if he can withstand that damage using that shield, he matches that first. I think it'll be pretty effective. But I don't know, man. I haven't actually seen the matchup before, so it's a really tough call. It's going to be range versus not as much range, but AE Fava, I don't know if it matters for him so much. He's just a dominating Rumble player. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, but maybe a Victor is kind of one of those scare tactics. It's one of those, I've had a surprise pick in the back pocket the whole time. We'll see how Nea performs. Nea has been performing fairly well throughout the entirety of the tournament. But I've seen Victor a lot in solo queue. I've seen Victor a lot, maybe a few times in competitive play. He's definitely viable, but people call him one of those secret picks, like Karthus, actually. A huge secret pick, played a lot in the Taiwanese region, as well as the Turkish region. Karthus support, what are your thoughts, Frank? You tell me.
Karthus is pretty much good anywhere, I think, is about the way it goes. Though I'm surprised to not see, I mean, Thresh is definitely a huge choice right now. No Blitzcrank either. And I was so depressed when they just put him as a placeholder. You're supposed to use really bad champions as placeholders, but they picked Blitz, and I was like, okay, that's legitimate, kind of. But they let it slide, man. I'm kind of sad about that.
With the new patch, it's a little bit difficult because the patch just came out, to kind of understand where the meta shift will go. But what kind of junglers or champions do you think are going to reign in 5.1? You've seen a few of the matches, you've seen a few of the strategies that have happened throughout the semifinals, quarterfinals, all the games leading up to this final match. Well, it's not the final match, but this finals set. What kind of meta shift do you think we're going to be seeing in this season?
I've seen a lot more damage-dealing junglers, though I gotta say I was pretty impressed with the Skarner from last game. I haven't seen too many matches in the new patch, but just seeing Skarner and how effective he was with that new item, it's kind of one of those cheese choices, though. If you could ban items, then Skarner would pretty much be ineffective. So he could be a strong choice, but I definitely think that Rek'Sai, even though she took a hit recently, I still think she's going to be on top of her game, and Pantheon is obviously a very, very strong choice, especially with the potential to solo that dragon really early on. It's always a scary factor when you have to worry about one champion going in against that dragon.
You're absolutely right. One thing I wanted to touch on is about the future of any tournament or any game for that matter, is the removal of DFG. With champions like Fizz, how are they going to combat Zed players or players that don't really rely on DFG as their main damage source, but rather AD mids like Talon and Zed? What do you think?
They won't.
Frank will be here all evening. If you want to contact him or go on a speed date, his favorite champion is Karthus. You can find him in the lobby at around 8 p.m. when this game is finished.
To be fair, though, I'm actually a trash Karthus. Like, if you actually, I would say you want to see it, like you got to see it. It's like one of those things, but you actually just don't want to. Like you'd watch and you'd be like 5 minutes in, you'd be like, good God, land a Q, please, get some farm for yourself. I miss like half the wave. Like level 1 on, if I get more than 3 creeps in a wave, I'm soaring. I'm on cloud 9.
Cloud9, the team to beat coming up in the LCS 5. Bridging from topic to topic like a smooth transition, almost like butter. Or honey. Honey is another item we have here at the front desk. If you want to take a swig of honey, come on down.
We're going to be doing a giveaway later for Jackson's Honey, the bottle which he's been feverishly sucking from this whole night. Signatures and everything on the bottle if you need it. All right, so we're loading into this one. You've got Eternum Rek'Sai, pretty sick skin, I gotta say. Those Super Galaxy Rumble, also pretty baller. Interesting. One thing to note here is the fact that we did let the Corki and Nami slide from last time. Omega B clearly smashing that lane. It was really, really one-sided. And Nami, I gotta say, UB Insta, I think this is his 3rd game in a row on Nami. So the fact that they let that go every single time is really, really strange. And I don't know. I don't think that's the right play at all. I think they should have banned that out or taken it for themselves for Azir.
Also, if you want to mention pick and ban phase, they did ban out Biofrost's Thresh, which is his favorite champion, and then UB Insta gets the Nami pick, which is completely interesting because it makes you wonder what is Azure thinking in terms of banning against Frost. What kind of champion picks do you think they're worried about? I think they're worried about the top lane and the jungle probably, more or less. Omega B is dominating the lane, but I think he's doing it in a way where it's... I don't know, the Nami isn't as scary as you might seem. That's why it hasn't been there.
I don't know, man. The bubbles are landing. That's pretty much... If somebody's that good at a champion, you kind of want to take it down and get it out of there. But I can see what you're saying. Maybe Nami just isn't that big of a threat for these guys, so they will let that one slide. But Corki, I think, on the other hand, is a big threat, and they did let that one slide. They're going to pull AC on Sivir, and he's actually played 3 different champions in 3 games. So yeah, he's showing versatility, but at the same time, he's not. He's got to change his mechanics on this one. Tour jumping forward here, and it's actually going to be an invade. A lot of stuff missing. Fava fires out that rocket, but that's about it. That's all she wrote for that invade.
Finally, we've seen an invade, which is what you've been hoping for the rest of the tournament. You can rest easily now. You can go home. I think you're good. The invade has happened. I think they just want to keep an eye on Pantheon where he's going to be, because Pantheon is has a really dominating early presence, and they probably are worried about the early ganks that are going to come to mid lane. They want to see if Pantheon is going to start red or start golems, move to red, so Viper can keep an eye on Pantheon at his red buff to make sure that he doesn't get ganks early.
And Miko, actually, you can see, you were mentioning before, a nice counter to Zed's is a Fizz pick, so you can see he's charging up that W, though. Nice exchange there for Viper. He eats a lot of minion damage, which in the end is actually what loses him the exchange. But I do think that we're going to see some pretty effective stuff coming out of Fizz, but a great push starting things up here for Zed. He's going to make Fizz miss a lot of CS.
Last game we saw Miko on Zed, and he did a lot of crazy split pushing, getting that top inhib for his team. As Fizz, I don't think you have a lot more split push potential as Zed. Zed has a lot of escape and a lot of dueling capability, so Azure had a hard time dealing with it. Oh my god, the early engage, but the flash a little bit keeping the Nami safe. The damage continues from Corki. He's going to keep auto attacking on Sivir. The heal popped out. Sivir gets out. Treading on dangerous waters. The bubble does land. Valkyrie from Corki does flash out. Manages to survive a little tussle in the bot lane. Aggressive bot laners every single game.
Yeah, a big problem there was Corki Valkyried in between AC and Biofrost. Biofrost had enough HP that he was okay to be on the front lines, and then AC just wasn't going to die with that summoner heal. You got Rek'Sai coming down to the bottom lane just to make sure There wasn't a Corki waiting in the wings, but he does decide to come back. So Omega B, not wanting to sacrifice any CS, is going to stick around in this one.
Rek'Sai swimming around in that river, taking a little bit of a bath, stopping by bot lane. He's making an early presence, trying to see if he can make something happen, but Pantheon has decided he's going to come out of the jungle, but nothing is really going to happen. It's just going to be a little bit of a limbo stage right now while people continue laning and CSing. Miko going a little bit aggressive onto Viper there, getting lots of damage out. Going to be seeing some interesting stuff in the mid lane. Miko showing that he's not going to be just bullied around by the Zed. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of presence in the mid lane. Both junglers really want a piece of that pie, but unfortunately, it's still in the oven.
You gotta crisp it up. So you gotta wait for it to be ready. It's no good now. Pantheon, actually, you can see being bullied around a little bit there by the Annie. Kind of just waiting things out here. Meanwhile, going to work on the roads here for Rek'Sai, getting a couple of tunnels down in her own jungle. Not a bad sign to start things out, and hasn't placed properly. Kind of OP, the mobility that comes out of those things. It's like Lee Sin ward jumping for free all the time if you get this down. Nia is actually pretty low here, gets down that slow, and will end up getting the stun. Tries to trade a couple of auto attacks, dodges the firstie, and Nia taking a flame spitter to the Nia. Maybe only that was funny to me.
I used to be in an adventure like you until I took an arrow to the Nia.
Wow. Why do you get laughs out of that and I don't understand. All right, so clearly 5 minutes into this one, nobody quite ready to line up Dragon, though still more highways being built over by that Wolfie camp. And you've got Pantheon chilling. Actually, this is one of the things, I'm going to have to ask the audience later, but I have a feeling I will not be disagreed with when I say that the new Wraith camp, the replacement, is the most broken camp in the game. Like level 5, I cannot solo that camp. No matter, give me any champion, I just can't do it. They're so strong.
What order are you killing the camp?
I don't want to talk about it. So Rek'Sai chilling in mid lane right now, trying to get something done to this Fizz. Unfortunately, Fizz and Zed are two champions that do not go down quite easily. UB Insta, though, jumping forward, actually takes half HP and still goes hard. Morning, Melon.
It's Melon time! Biofrost taken dangerously low. He gets executed by Pantheon. The exhaust coming out into AC. He might fall here. I don't know if he has flash up, but the auto attack will finish him off. Well played.
All right, beautiful stuff there from Corki. And like you said, Melon, man, getting down to that bottom lane. I got Melon puns for days. They're gonna look forward to those soon. Coming soon to a university near you. All right, so Zed, I think his strategy here is just to push up and make Miko have the hardest time farming this lane, and that's a great counter to Fizz.
I think that may be the only counter to Fizz.
Yeah.
At least for the early game, for that matter. Let's go back to that Wraith camp. I want to welcome you to Wraith Camps Anonymous, where you can talk about your problems in the jungle, whatever problems you have. We're here for you. The audience is here for you, Frank.
I appreciate that. Golden Camp is actually super easy, though. I'm so bad. I don't get it. I don't know. I just want to see wards, man. I just want to see wards, that's all. All right, so level 4 Pantheon getting jumped on.
Here comes Pantheon. The ult go on to Pantheon. I think he might survive. He does survive. That was a little bit lackluster of a commentary there. But one thing I want to mention before I throw it over to you is the roaming Annie. She's been in every single corner of the map looking for Tibbers. Where is Tibbers?
She's going deep. As is Fizz here, apparently, just throws out his ultimate into the middle of nowhere, needs to water the grass, apparently. And not a whole lot getting done there, though. Sivers going to be forced to farm up this wave. But like you said, man, that's a Roman Annie. And when she does find Tibbers, I feel like it's going to wreak havoc on the map right now. She's only level 4, though. Kind of a sad day. She's not gonna have that anytime soon. But she is doing she's making a lot of pressure happen. She spotted out Pantheon a couple times. No kills, but at the very least, she at least keeps track of where he is. He could be a much bigger threat if she wasn't around.
Speaking of keeping tabs on Pantheon, I want to talk about the ward game right now. The red team, Frost, is definitely on their war game. Spot on, crisp to the maximum. Whereas Azur is lacking some gems in the jungle, a little bit wardless. What are your thoughts, Frank? Where do we need to place these wards?
So for Azur, they definitely got to crisp up their ward game. 350, 10 minutes on Broil would be amazing. They got to get the wards, I think, around the dragon area, especially now. We're at 9 minutes. That's right around the time that teams start thinking about it, and it's really about the gold count. 11,000 gold, that's a good place to start, and that's about the time where you can 2 or 3 man dragon very, very comfortably. Miko gets jumped on here, though. No playful trickster.
And he gets executed by the Zed. Very well played. Solo Dolo, 1v1, come fight me. Zed takes the kill.
Yeah, that was actually really, really quick. I didn't actually expect him to do that much damage, but taking a look at his items, Brutalizer and 2 longswords, he's got enough hands for it, and he beats him down with that big stick and shanks him in the ankles afterwards. Really well played. But yeah, definitely not enough wards on the map for Azur here. Pushing forward though, AE Favor, this guy's going hard.
Missing a few rockets. I guess there's no rockets in his pocket. They're going to be pushing up the mid lane. Rek'Sai and Zed taking the turret actually. Nia is going to need to do wonders in the team fights. Assassinate whoever he can. UB Insta kind of coming in the middle lane, seeing if he can get Viper. The fish comes out! He's going to be fishing for compliments later, ladies. He's going to need some help. He's going to retreat in the mid lane. What do you think about this Victor and Rumble lane? There's been a little bit of a tussle back and forth.
Yeah, both of these guys inventors, and they're definitely not inventing any damage onto the other player here because it's clearly not working out. Pantheon, no bottom lane.
It's Melon time once again, going out to Sivir. I think it's going to be a little bit of a retreat rather than an engage. They see that Rek'Sai is coming. They're all coming out onto Melon, taken down by the Sivir. Lots of damage coming out by Corki, but it's not going to be enough. Great choice by Azur to pick off that Pantheon, and this could possibly be the turret. Miko getting bullied by the Viper. I guess the snake is more powerful than the fish.
All right, so Omega B kind of just being held back here. He is going to lose his turret, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Rumble, like we were talking about that matchup in the top lane, it looked like Victor was doing quite well for himself. He's got a chalice and 2 Doran's rings, though. I think he's holding on to the early game items. He's going to do a lot of damage later on, but right now is when AE Favor wants to be doing damage. He might actually go back. Does he have enough for Leandries? I think he does with that 1,100, 1,200 gold.
I think now is definitely a time where Dragon is going to be heavily contested. It seems kind of like that limbo stage. Frost really needs the Dragon to get caught back in gold, and it'll give them that little damage boost that they need to catch up. But Azur having a huge lead over Frost right now, almost 3K in total. Not looking so hot for Frost.
No, definitely not. They are trying to get the positioning back here on the map right now. They've got some wards going down around that dragon area, but pink wards to counter that out. And yeah, I gotta say, Biofrost doing a great job of not only relieving muscle pain, but also relieving ward pressure on the map here. Really, really good stuff. And Rek'Sai, I gotta say, kind of letting me down. Only has 3 tunnels on the map at the 12-minute mark. Definitely not gonna be traveling anywhere anytime soon, or at least not traveling across the map. He has not been to top lane in quite a while.
You know those Ontario workers, they get those highways up pretty slow.
Yes, of course.
We're always stuck on the highway. Traffic is insane. I blame Tour.
Me too. Me too. All right. Definitely got to take that to Parliament. All right, Omega B going hard here onto AC, and he's going to get chased down. Morning Melon, here we go.
Morning Melon coming in. Corki being taken down. The teleport from Rumble. The chase continues. Teleport from Victor to answer. Insane. The ultimate from Aviva. It doesn't seem to land onto anyone. They continue to chase. I think they might be backing out. Rek'Sai coming in from the west. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air coming in. The stun from Morning Melon. He's out of mana. Zed off the kill. Holy moly, guacamole. I need some tacos after that one.
Melon time indeed. Gets kind of caught out of position there as all the seeds squeezed out of him, and now nothing but juice. As they will pound down on this dragon here. Tibbers leading the charge on that one. Rumble's in the mix as well. He was pounding down on Victor there. Unfortunately, not able to get away. So Frost taking a beating here. 17.2 to now 20.7 with that dragon. Miko going deep though.
The fish this time, it actually lands. It does manage to eat Zed. Doesn't really do that much damage, but they're going to continue the fight anyways. Corky going in deep and gets caught out a little bit. Might need some aviation lessons after that one.
How did this guy get his pilot's license? I have no idea. But he gets in there, gets in the mix. Unfortunately, with the patchwork that they've been doing, Valkyrie, the burn no longer does 1,000 damage per second. I'm not sure if that's what he was looking for there. But Red Buff going down here to Morning Melon. He's going to be getting into the fray, I'm sure, pretty quickly with that one, though doesn't have really the team to back him up. Apparently, grouping is not on the docket here for Frost.
They really need to reorganize their agenda and figure out what objectives they need to take. For Frost to get back into the game, they're really going to need to focus down picks. They really need to pick somebody out of position, because right now Azure is in every position that they want to be. Frost is roaming, Zed is roaming, Rek'Sai is roaming. They're all on the same page, whereas Frost is reading two completely different books. I don't know what manual they were given to install this game, but looks like A-Fever finding Morning Melon. Looks like that's going to be good night to that Melon. Falling asleep right there near Red Buff. A little bit of a tight squeeze for Frost, looking a little bit down. I'm not sure what objective they need to prioritize here. What do you think, Frank?
Well, I think really for Azure, any objective's good. Here we go. Oh, wow.
Lots of damage, lots of stuff happening, lots of spells, and lots of death. That seems to be the end of Frost there. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we find out if Frost turns to heat.
Wow. Frost definitely melting down here. Omega B, Valkyrie's away. He's got a little bit of damage being dealt here. He does use his summoner heal. Pantheon jumps in.
It's Melon time. Let's see if he's able to make some damage. He gets squished by the entire team. Victor not being able to do something. I actually haven't seen him use his ult at all this game.
Yeah, that's never a good thing. Victor with no ult online, no ult coming out onto the field. That can be a tide turner, but unfortunately, the title Trickster really is the guy that we're going to need to be talking about here. He has not landed too many giant sharks, and in fact, even when he does land them, they don't seem to be dealing the damage that he needs to. But a big part of this one is Melon. Melon time in the beginning used to be a good thing for Frost, but now he's just turning into Mushmelon, and that's never a good thing.
On top of that, no, Frost is definitely running out of Melon time. So they need to really pick up the pace here, figure out who they need to pick off, what lane they need to focus, because right now, Rek'Sai is going in deep just to get that blue buff. Blue buff is definitely more important than some of the other players right now. Zed 4-0-3, Rek'Sai 2-0-5. Let's take a look at their gold count. They have a substantial lead against the enemy opponents. What does Frost need to do? We really need to talk about this.
Yeah, Frost so far, I don't think I've actually seen them in a full-blown fives fight. They need to make sure that when the fight starts, it's not just a couple of them. Even if it's 4 of them against 5, for just a second, you can see Rumble takes full advantage of that. Sivir clearly allowing her team to catch right up to that battle and deal maximum damage to even just the 4 on the front line. When you have to run away, that's damage that you're not dealing, and that's just a terrible spot to be in. So with this much of kind of like a Zerg comp where you just chase them down, everybody's in on it, it's always a bad time. Miko though,
the Tidal Trickster dodges though, the fish does land, and Zed takes out the Fizz. They really needed that because they were targeting the turrets in the top lane. They really wanted to just get one kill to confirm those turrets, not like they weren't going to get them anyways. And Corky in the bot lane trying to get caught up, because I know that Omega B was a dominating force last game along with the Zed, but they really want that Corky to get a little bit stronger, and Sivir is in complete control right now. It's going to take a long time for Omega to get caught up.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta say here, a big problem is just and I'm going to continuously go back to it in this mid lane here. We're still on the gold screen, but if we take a look just at the CS count, 103 to 169, one of the bigger deficits in the game for sure. Victor, actually, I got to hand it to this guy. No deaths. Ooh, Morning Melon. Wow.
No comment.
Okay. Really well done there. Really good. Miko jumps forward.
The ult from Tibbers looks like she found the voice she was looking for. Victor getting the kill out to Zed. Fizz does fall from the ignite. The ultimate is going to continue to chase. Victor still lost the fight. They get the Sivir. She manages to heal out of it. Rumble fighting, going in the ball lane. The bumper flash. Holy moly! What an intense battle. Great job, Frost, for picking up that. That's exactly what they needed to turn the tides there. And Nami was there to definitely figure out what time the tides would roll in.
No comment. Great stuff there. Really nice turnaround. And like you said, the one time that Victor ults, that's it. He turns things around for his team. And you can see he's kind of leading the charge here. So the same way that AE Favor was leading the charge for his team, despite the fact that they were losing team fights last game, it's all about Victor this game. He's ahead. He's the only lane that's ahead in terms of CS. It could be all on his shoulders right now. Can he handle the pressure? I don't know. He definitely needs to wait for his team to catch up, though. No finished items on a couple of characters here on his team. He needs to wait that one out.
What I think the strategy that Frost wants to approach here is they want Victor to become the focus, the target, and Fizz will catch up in due time. I think that's the goal for Frost here. That seems like a reasonable strategy. While Fizz gets all caught up and gets picks of his own, Victor will take the time to focus down the carries and do a lot of damage. But it looks like they're, like I said earlier, trying to find that pick, but Zed knew what was happening, and that's going to be a bad rotation for Frost.
Yeah, definitely. So Frost is going to be sacrificing another dragon here as Rek'Sai will peel that one off. Definitely some interesting positioning here. Viper wants to go hard on Miko again.
The ult coming out onto Miko. The playful Trickster does dodge Deathmark. The fish does miss. The bubble misses as well. Looks like there's no aquatic combinations there, no cohesion there. And Azur's just going to take out all the turrets in the map. They really want them to be hiding in the base. Victor gets caught out. He gets stun locked to infinity and beyond. Corgi being continued to be chased. Sivir wants to finish it. She gets the double kill. Surfs up, but Sivir didn't bring her surfboard.
Wow, so massive. So like I was talking about before, that Zerg comp coming out in spades here as they do chase down two characters while underneath the turret. So they were able to separate the distance between that full turret range. Victor was hiding well beneath it, but when you've got an Annie there with that big range stun, and she was willing to burn her flash there, that is just way too much distance for Victor to get away from that. He didn't have flash available, and C'est la vie, down he goes. He's going to have to think up a new invention to continue forward in this one.
Thankfully, he has a few upgrades left, I think. I don't know if that's the last upgrade for Victor. There's still room for improvement, always room to better your invention, better your skill cap. I don't think their strategy is working. I'm not exactly sure. I still don't know what Frost needs to do. Azur has been out-rotating them, been in every position at the right time, at the right place, and Zed has been attracting attention in the right places, which has been allowing his team to push down turrets and hide Frost into their base.
Yeah, for sure. Not to mention, when we see Zed finish up that Yumuz, that is going to be terrifying. Yeah, don't worry. We were just looking at the greenery. It's kind of nice. Actually, evergreen. Great. All right, but when Zed does finish up that Yumuz, it's going to be horrifying how much damage he puts out. Like we saw last time, and it was Miko last time on the Zed, his potential to pull characters around the map into places that they should not be in terms of team fights is amazing. If he can draw more than one character, which you kind of have to bring more than one character to shut down a Zed, it's just going to be awful. So here's hoping that Frost can turn this one around and maybe find a new way, a new strategy to bring this one home.
Exactly what that guy said. I think you should be casting for this desk right now as well. We need you down here. Looks like Baron's going to be the next target for Azur. They really want to close out this game soon before Frost has the chance to catch up. They're going to probably melt that Baron pretty quickly, push down the mid lane, and hopefully end the game there. Frost held up into their base. I think they want to deal with the Zed. That's why they're all crowding around there. But like I said, it's a missed objective. While trying to get that shutdown goal off of Zed, a few of the members going to recall and probably join Zed in the mid lane or the bot lane to clean up.
It's time to regroup, think about things, have a staff meeting, really figure out how the next quarter is going to work out for you. Next fiscal year, how are you going to pull this one together? Looks like, though, fiscally, 29,000 to 43,000. That feels pretty rough, and the items are certainly showing. Rumble with only 3 finished items, but that's really all he needs. He's pretty much finished his build. Anything from here is going to be not nearly as effective as his first couple items. Up we go, though. Rek'Sai jumps up to that top lane and burns the ultimate, but maybe pulling characters, that's the way to go for him.
I feel like this tournament is the last farewell to DFG. Annie picking up that DFG really wants to help eliminate a lot of the targets. Biofrost saying goodbye to his favorite item, even though his favorite champion is Thresh. I still think that AP scaling, if you DFG Flay, do you think you can nuke someone?
No comment. So Nia, wow. SmartCam didn't even look at it, and that's how quick it was. But here we go, fish in, let's go.
Melon time, ultimate is melon time. Let's see if we can make something happen. Sivir getting dangerously low. Fizz getting executed by the Rumble. Overheating, doing tons of damage. Biofrost in the back line, taking on a few people. Lots of damage. I think that's going to be the end of Frost. Very well played by the Azure team in the right place at the right time.
And that's going to be a 4-man surrender. GG coming out here. 21 to 6, 8 turrets to none, 49,000 to 31,000, the final gold count. Did we bring in the masseuses this time around? I think everybody needs just a little bit of a back rub, get the juices flowing again here, because we do need to regroup and think about how we're going to take this on to a game 5. Frost against the ropes right now.
Stay tuned for more. We'll take a really, really short break, possibly a giveaway, and then head right back into the match. We're going as quick as possible to get you guys home safe. Turn off the voice. Oh, it just runs forever. The voice is going now. Yeah.
Amigos Con.
What's up, man?
Amigos Con. You guys always come for my spells. Daniona. I'm a supporter of Wabuja.
Thanks, man. You guys did pretty well, eh? Could have got.
I hate how you guys count my spell. Like, oh, you can count. Oh, here's the least spell usage. And
That was me and Frank wherever he went. That was pretty funny though.
And Finding Simo.
Oh, was it you? That was us.
It was Finding Simo.
We're assholes. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was pretty funny though.
Gotta try.
Oh man.
So, what do you think that's gonna win next game?
I think it's probably gonna be Azure 4-1. That's what I'm thinking.
We'll see.
A little bit of like feedback, that kind of thing. We're actually on the webcam right now. Yeah. Check it out. So, how are you guys? 'Cause I just want to see how it looks. How are you guys doing out there in viewerland? You got like 25 viewers.
And then we have like another 25 here, another 40 here.
Shout outs to you guys out there. I actually counted them. We have about
We had 60 to 70 earlier.
yeah. I think we're sitting at like without the players and everything like that. We're sitting at about 45, 50 people, which is pretty good.
What's going on over here? What did Lancelot say? Did you read?
We had a little bit of issue for a little bit on the audio. It was like looping or whatever. But that's all fixed now. I wonder how the quality is on the actual stream in terms of sound. Are you guys happy with it? Shout outs to the stream. We have one more game left. And we have
2-1 right now.
yeah, that's 2-1. Next game, I'm thinking, because we have to leave at 8:30, so we have an hour. Like, the internet gets cut out at 8:30, so I'm hoping that it's actually 3-1 for sure.
If not, then what?
If not, then we might have to come up with some creative alternatives.
All right, now that it's 2-2, pick out of a hat.
Or online, maybe at home.
Yeah,
something
finish
like
it
that.
at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like.
Probably should have started earlier.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't. It was
Tomorrow,
a little bit of a
right
hectic
at
start.
10 a.m., bright and early.
Dude, I
tomorrow.
can't wait to go tomorrow because I don't have to actually do anything in terms of setting up.
That's
A,
true.
all the computers
Tony
are already
does it
set
all.
up. Tony does it all.
Yeah, man, that's the greatest thing. Holy. And then you're gonna bring lots of tea, lots of honey,
Yeah.
because I've noticed my voice goes out fast.
Yeah. I've been doing this all week.
I know you have. Yeah, I've been watching the streams. I can't cast, but I can watch, right? So
I haven't been yelling because I have my mic right here, obviously, but with this thing especially, you have to like get in there.
yeah, get in the paints. It's really, really great because I love that. At home, I can't be like super loud. The first time I ever casted, I had to close the door, and it was from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I came out at like 7 p.m. and my parents were like, "What the fuck are you doing in there?" Because it's just like, oh, like all over.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I actually can't wait till tomorrow. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's
a
better.
similar-
It's gonna be so much more fun because there's gonna be like different teams, and we're not gonna be able to be like, "Oh, I know Omega plays this champion." It's just gonna be like
for sure, a
off.
bunch of random stuff. Because I don't know if you watched it wasn't the last one, but the one that Zlatan and I played, where we won. We were playing a whole bunch of random stuff. Like we ran, I was jungling, Zot was playing mid, and I played Gragas jungle. I played.
Look at me. So, melon time. Melon time. No, he's taking it.
We played some cool stuff though. Like I remember playing Gragas jungle and Amumu jungle and Shaco jungle, and we had some interesting stuff. Like Malphite top a lot. So it's cool, man. Like there's a lot of like really random stuff that comes out in these tournaments.
I wonder, is Frank going home, or he's
He's
probably gonna
actually-
crash in your
yeah,
place
he's
and then
gonna
tomorrow
stay in my
morning. Thanks, man. The melon helped. Melon helped.
What's up with the honey?
Jackson and I have an ongoing bet that whoever loses, he's voting for Azure, I'm voting for Frost. Whoever loses has to dump honey all over their body, and you have it ready. You have it ready.
Can't wait. I actually
Looks like
kinda
we're into
lose.
freaking ban already.
I'm voting for Azure because it's a lot of effort in that shape.
Test one. Oh. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
I know you guys are getting free stuff, but we're also in Champion Select. Game number 4 between Frost and Azure.
I want to hear everyone in the audience who's voting for Azure right now. Who wants Azure to win in this game 4?
How about you Frost fans? Let's hear it. What?
Very careful with the feet.
Okay. Yeah, just watch it.
Stay locked into the chair.
This is like the UAT Classic, I think. This might be the start of a bitter rivalry between these two teams. Into Game 4, we're seeing a lot of similar bans come down. Thresh and LeBlanc been banned out the whole series. Zed actually banned out by the side of Azure this time around.
I'm happy to see the Zed ban because both mid laners have done phenomenal on the Zed champion. Miko split pushing in the top lane. Viper completely decimating that mid lane. I think they really want to target that mid lane. A lot of the bans are actually coming out against the support, coming out from Frost, which is surprising because Nami has been played every single game.
Yeah, the Jarvan ban coming out as well. That means Lee Sin is available this time around. The first time Lee Sin has been up, Pantheon as well. So interesting little bit of transition on the bans. Omega B hovering over that Lee Sin might be the thing that Frost actually needs to sort of bring them back into this series. They've struggled a little bit with the early game pressure. Lee Sin, of course, the king of the jungle. So if they do lock this in, it definitely could be their road to recovery.
Definitely, then the dream will be alive. We'll be on to Game 5. Stay tuned for information on that. I really want to see what kind of comps are going to be formed around because we've seen a lot of pick comps mainly. Azure doing it very effectively last game with the Sivir speed buff as well as the Zed initiation. It's really worked out for Azure, and I'm pretty sure we can expect another pick comp from that side with a lot of early game damage as well, because that seems to be what their team structure is mainly based around.
I am curious to see what they do pick in the mid lane. I'm sure they're going to keep it to a little bit later. In terms of junglers, yeah, I do expect the Pantheon. Nami coming out as well. Like you said, a lot of attention towards those supports, and Nami just seems like the likely answer. And on the flip side, for Frost here, most likely going to go towards their AD carry. Let's see if they value the Graves over the Corki this time around. He also has been a big factor in these fights. Of course, Ezreal very strong as well. And in terms of supports, not that much available, but definitely enough to you can actually hold off on that, maybe look towards some different style of picks. Frost is known actually to run a lot of weird things, such as Akali in the top lane, things like that. And I think this might be the game where they maybe want to flip everything on its head. They have that Lee Sin, they have the early game pressure. Are they going to try and switch up their strategy?
I want to point out what Azure just did in that first two picks. The jungler has already been revealed. So what other than to pick the other jungler? So they picked up Pantheon. UB Insta has been playing Nami all day. And the fact that they picked up that Nami is just forcing UB Insta to play on something that he's not been playing on all day. It gets him out of his comfort zone, and it like you said, it flips it on its head for that bot lane, and it gives AC the room to be aggressive, because Omega B has been aggressive all day. He's been really picking his fights in the bot lane, and this gives a chance for AC to feel a little bit more comfortable with that support pick taken away from UB Insta.
We've actually already seen it once already today, when we did see Viper go on towards that Anivia. That kind of switch in playstyle just really messes with the player's head when you're in a live environment like this. You can't really just relax and be comfortable with what you're doing. You're really on edge in an environment like this, and comfort cannot be underrated. We do see AC picking up that Lucian into Morgana as a good pick. Of course, Braum would have been a little bit more difficult to deal with. Viper as well, going to pick up that Rumble for the top lane. We've seen a lot of success from Rumble in these last couple games. Of course, Fela just so strong on it. Caitlyn, I don't think is going to come out here. Maybe just a little bit of a shout out. I wouldn't be surprised if that Ari is locked in more for Miko.
I'm actually surprised to see Rumble not banned out by Frost. Rumble has been doing wonders for Azure, and they've been revolving a lot of their fights and a lot of their comps around the Rumble. Rumble has the ability to chase, he can teleport in, his ultimate is amazing, and with Liandry's it just makes it even more devastating. Now, if we see the Azir pick out, then that's just going to be a chase for days. Chase for days, poke for days, and that'll be the end of that. But as I was saying before, I'm just surprised that Rumble's not banned by Frost. It's the only, I would have seen Rumble instead of Janna.
I would not be surprised if it is. Azir finally locked in. It's taken us to Game 4 of the Grand Finals to finally see this champion be pulled down. Arguably the most broken champion in the League of Legends right now. Very, very strong, of course, in the late game and in the mid game. So early game, not that great. We're not going to see the same kind of style that we normally do see from Azure. Most likely, of course, he is just a broken champion overall. He's going to be a little bit strong in the early game. But I want to point out how good this top lane pick is for Mia. He needs something that can really just kind of win a lane for his team and get them on the right track. And I think Aurelia might just be the champion to do that.
Absolutely, Rumble has been annoying this entire day for Nia, bringing him to his Nias. Morning Melon on Lee Sin. Interesting to see. Lee Sin has been banned, I think, all day. But one thing I do want to point out is the fact that when we were doing the interviews, the short interviews of each player, Viper had stated Azir as his favorite champion. In addition to being very mechanically skilled, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of fancy dancy moves he's going to be pulling out against Miko, as well as in the pick phase, in the team fight phase, in the objective phase as well, because he has those turrets that he can retreat to, whatever he wants. I wanted to ask you, what is the matchup like with Ari against Azir? What's that going to be like in the mid lane without jungle pressure?
So this was actually a question I was about to raise myself. Do you think that if there's a black Ari, she would be able to go over Azir's wall? I'm not sure if the interaction is like, is the prevention of being able to go over it, is it a spell?
I think it's terrain.
It's terrain? It's just impassable terrain, which is pretty interesting. So it's going to be, I think after level 6, of course, Viper's going to have that safety net. And unless Miko can sort of play around that, then it's going to be in the favor of Viper, especially because both are taking their ignite, they're both looking to fight, and if Viper can get an early lead, then I wouldn't be surprised if Miko's just kind of at a loss and not really ever to get a kill on him the entire game.
That's not to say that Miko cannot win this game for his team. There are ways that Miko can avoid Viper. Viper will just stay farmed the entire game, but what Miko can do is roam to other lanes and help AC get big, help the Rumble get huge, get massive. Miko has these tools in Basic League rulebook, in the Basic League rulebook, to help his team snowball out of control.
And you know, when we were talking about that mid lane, we weren't talking about jungle intervention. And I think if Morning Melon was to help, I don't even think he really needs to gank Viper. As long as he keeps good jungle vision around his side of the map, if he can keep the sight away from Viper, Viper's going to be afraid, and Miko will be able to push him in. And if he can do that, if Morning Melon can use the strength that Lee Sin has to really just kind of keep Tour in his own jungle, not really able to invade against the others, then it's definitely a winning possibility for Miko up in that matchup.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Very well said. We're about to get into this game, 25 seconds left. We saw it invade last time. We may be seeing an invade this time with the Lee Sin and the Morgana Snare. It's going to be really, really detrimental for Frost to be landing those skill shots to make a successful invade. I don't think that Azure will invade. They only invaded to get vision last time of the Pantheon. They wanted to see what Morning Melon was, so Viper could be, wary of the ganks and etc. etc. But I think that if a team were to invade, it definitely would be Frost.
Frost also has noticed that Azure really has invaded pretty much every game. Actually, no, definitely every game they've gone with that 5-man group up. They've gone for the invade. And if they were to do something a little bit cheeky, a little bit cheesy, and they decide to actually stand in the bush and try and pick somebody off, whoever comes in maybe with an RE charm, something like that, Morgana binding, whoever face checks that bush is definitely going to go down very quickly. Guys, this is game number 4. We've got Frost going off against Azure. Let's hear it one more time for these guys as we get in the game.
Come on, you guys can do more than that. Let's hear it for Frost and Azure!
There we go, there we go.
Jackson, with his tendencies to put the champions where they need to be, got to be LCS or go big or go home. We are UTLA LCS here, guys, confirmed by Riot. Lots of prizing for you guys.
And as you say that, I actually do mess up the order. Thank you so much.
Fun fact, they still have not fixed the Azir bug, I believe, in Dominion, where Azir can start capping the turret before the game has started.
You guys need to build up your Dominion elo. Obviously, Azir, the power pick there.
Completely, there's no other champion that has ever been able to escape that little barrier at base and be able to capture a turret before the game has even started. It's ridiculous. But, as I was saying before, Frost looking to hide in that whoosh, the whoosh boosh, and might be invading, but the ward is there. The ward's going to catch him out, so it's going to be a failed invade whether they know it or not. But with the counter invade on the other side, Azure looks like they just want to, like I said before, they just want to see where Lee Sin's going to be, and it's really, really worked out for them to get those deep wards in.
You can see the vision does make it clear that they actually didn't see the base from Aurelia. Not that that's going to change too much. She's going to make her way up on top as Azure does move back into their own side of the jungle. We have a pause coming down, so I would like to talk a little bit just about how these team fights are going to go out and what the win conditions are for both teams. So obviously on the side of Frost, they're definitely focusing on what seems to be more of a pick comp. They've got the charm, they've got the binding, of course they've got the Lee Sin insect. However, a very good counter to that is basically all the ultimates coming out from the side of Frost here, or sorry, Azure here. Obviously, they get the RA Charm. If Viper can get there soon enough, he can drop his ult, prevent the engage from Lee Sin, prevent the engage from Aurelia, and then of course the Nami ultimate coming down, the ultimate coming down from Rumble, and then AC, and then of course Tour on top of that. It's just basically all 5 ultimates are perfect at delaying that dive, delaying that pick, and then re-engaging once things are done. We got the camera live as well.
What team, I know you just touched upon this, but what team do you think is going to have their diving goggles on more this game? Because both teams have the potential to dive, but who's going to be in the pool more often?
Honestly, simply just because of the way that AC and Biofrost have been playing their lane down there, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys are the ones that are going to be continually diving. They're so aggressive down there. I love to see it. And then, of course, Biofrost most likely going to roam around on that Nami and set up some picks all over the map. He's got that Ignite once again. You know he does love diving those towers, so I think those guys are the most bloodthirsty in the game, no matter what champions they're on.
I couldn't agree more. Azure has shown that they're really ruthless in their playstyle. Always aggressive, always picking, always applying the pressure onto the enemy team. Even in the game that they lost, they were still trying to apply as much pressure as they could. But Zed just outsplit push, out-rotated in that game. It's going to be interesting to see. Pantheon is going to be starting Gromp or Blue Buff. I think he's going to be starting Gromp. The ward has expired, so this late invade by Frost is going to be unseen by Azure. And let's see if they're going to pick out Morning Melon here. The snare has not come out yet. The flash from Tour. Going to get out safely. Really, I would say that was definitely a worth invade. They could just walk away from that safely. Pantheon without flash is a dangerous game.
Especially when there is a Lee Sin on the other side. They know exactly where you're starting. They're still in and around that blue buff too, putting on some pressure. However, look at that bottom lane. A big push coming in from AC and Biofrost. They have a lot of push pressure with that piercing light on Lucian. Fava up in the top lane, really letting Nia know that doesn't matter what champion he's on, that Rumble is going to be annoying.
Definitely showing the strength. Viper also pushing out that Ahri in the beginning. Azure is just doing all the right things at this point. Even if the Pantheon flashes down, every lane is pushing completely heavily. And I think on bot lane, they're going to hit level 2 before Frost does, and it's going to give them an advantage in lane. Just, oh my god. Matrix, the sequel right there. Damage coming out to me, lots. I'm trying to keep track of all this damage. There's just too much going on. Great aggression from the Azure team.
Take a look in that mid lane, 3 CS to 12. How does that happen? It must have been off the invade. I didn't even realize that Ahri was there the whole time. That's a big deal. She's level 3 against the level 3 of Viper, but Viper able to just put on so much pressure in that lane. I mean, Azure's not a weak laner early by any means. He just doesn't have a whole lot of kill potential. He's of course got a lot of harass, but we'll have to see.
Pantheon roaming around that blue side. Was hoping to get a pick onto Ahri, but playing a little bit safer, knowing that she's low in that mid lane. Without flash, Pantheon. Oh, the engage from Viper. The Ignite does come out. I think Miko flashes out of that. Ignite won't be able to finish off. But great fight from Viper. They're not having to waste flash. Trying to just completely bully out Ahri so he can't even have a chance to get back in the game. Kind of like what Viper did last game against the Fizz as the Zed.
And unfortunately, because Miko is having so much trouble in that mid lane, it actually kind of limits what Lee Sin is able to do against that Pantheon. Even though he was able to blow that flash on the invade, Morning Melon is going to be restricted to farming unless Miko can climb his way back into that lane.
Morning Melon has yet to show himself on the map. Nia needs some help, bot lane needs some help. Pantheon is even starting to show a little bit of pressure, getting some deep wards in. I saw he had a ward on blue buff that expired, unfortunately. Morning Melon looking for that bot lane. The snare does land. AC goes aggressive. The bubble does land. Morning Melon has to come in here. It's Melon time. The Q lands. Heal comes out. AC does not fall. The flash comes out. Loki getting low. Is 2-0 going to be able to finish. Oh my god, he gets the kill. Oh my. I'm trying to hype this up as much as I can, guys. That was incredible fight down there. Great play from Frost. Is exactly what they need to turn the tides, even though they're not playing any aquatic champions. Very well done to get back. Morning Melon, that was definitely a time for some melons.
I'm actually speechless with how loud you got there, man. You are going crazy, and I love to see that. Just like Azure is playing, these guys are crazy too. I mean, they're down this game, but just the way their lanes are playing so far is very, very impressive. Bottom lane, though, once again, Biofrost and AC forced to play on the back foot. We're going to have to see what sort of impact this does have on the game overall as we do get up in towards that level 6 mark very shortly.
The 2 assists that Lee Sin got is going to give him a lot of confidence, and that confidence is going to start in the top lane. Afiva backing up here. The flash from Irelia, the flash from Afiva to counteract that. He's stuck behind the minions. Looks like it's going to be bad news bears for the Rumble.
This Lee Sin is a game changer all around the map, helping turn those lanes around. Next thing he needs to do is take a stop by mid lane. Truar is there trying to get in there in time, canceling the aggression coming out from Yubi. He might go for the flash gank onto Miko here. He doesn't actually have his flash, so we'll have to see what happens.
Biofrost having a little bit of a tussle with UB Insta. The support rivalry stays true. Oh my god, the insect did not seem to work out. He's might fall to the. Oh my god! That was a great snare too. But the insect. Oh my god, the continuation! He's gonna jump out onto him again, try to get out of there. The spear rushes are gonna dance with one more. Oh my god!
Pantheon staying in this game, 1 shield at a time. Frost is turning the heat up. These guys are not letting this go to a 3-game or 4-game. They're gonna make it go to game 5 is what I'm trying to say. They're melting my head, they're turning it up so hard.
They're turning up the heat. but they don't even have the baker. For those of you who don't know, Pantheon aspires to be a baker, cooking chef things in the kitchen on a daily basis while he takes his time away from the Rift. They're really gonna need fights, spells. Might get Omega. That predicted Valkyrie though, not gonna get Omega B. Auto attacks continue from AC. He does manage to dodge the piercing light there. Back to Limbo, back to farming.
Up in the top lane, Morning Melon returning for another one, but here is the counter game from Tour. A level disparity though, Aether not getting a very good ult, but he will take down Morning Melon. However, Nia and Tour going to go at it. Level 7 here is level 4, obviously in the favor of Nia. Will he have enough to get him under tower? Does not look like it, and once again, Pantheon will survive.
I think Aurelio's out of mana there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Would have gotten the kill onto Pantheon. Balling, keeping the pressure up regardless of what happens in the top lane. But that was a good fight. Rumble positioned a great ult there as well. Managed to get Lee Sin just kind of stuck in between champions and minions, kind of blocked there. Got melted really quickly, which is a little bit unfortunate. Tour getting dangerously low, dancing on a fine line. Manages to level up and get some health back there. Very, very safe for Pantheon. I'm kind of wondering what's the next move for both of these teams here. Do you think it's going to be Dragon or some turret pressure?
I love how the pink ward was used for that Lee Sin gank. I think really we're going to see turret pressure and lane pressure here simply because the teleports are down from the top laners. Actually, Nia's just came back up, so there is a very real possibility of a TP gank somewhere around the map. Aurelia not the best ganker with TP, but of course she is building quite a bit of damage, so she will have a decent chance at getting some assassination potential onto somebody squishy like that Nami. So we'll have to see. Azir obviously going to keep the pressure up in that mid lane. It might not be the easiest roam for him. Of course, there's a global from Pantheon. It's hard to say, but I think there's going to be action in the bottom lane.
And not a moment too soon, Lee Sin's hovering around that ball lane. Pantheon's going to the blue. The snare does miss. I don't think Morning Melon's going to commit onto this. He does manage to land the Q. Oh my god! They managed to get Biofrost. No teleport from either laner. Pantheon coming in, the snare landing out. Q lands from Melon as well. Azir rotating to that ball lane. But great gank from Morning Melon. Pings coming out, lots of pings. I think they're telling Azir to retreat. But great gank from Morning Melon.
A little bit of a delayed reaction coming out of Biofrost there. Not ready to dodge the flash. Might have been relying on his spells. However, that black shield on the insect is going to be a deciding factor this game. You can tell already. Just able to set up that insect with no sort of counterplay. And just a beautiful synergetic play coming out from the jungler and the bottom lane of Frost.
I think Aurelia's teleport's going to be used here. She does decide to back off. Rumble getting her dangerously low. Pantheon coming in! It's not Melon time. It's time for Tour. The surf's up, but the board does miss the waves. Omega B gets out with his life. The teleport coming from Aurelia bubbled instantly. Crippled on his knees. Tour getting slowed there. Nia taking lots of damage. Black Shield keeping her alive, or negating a lot of that damage. Azir poking in the mid lane. A little bit of thought the teleport was going to go back onto the top lane. Rumble's going to be pushing that wave really hard. Hopefully Frost can answer with the flash coming out. Oh my god!
I don't think anybody saw that coming. AC still having his flash. Had the kill through the dash there as well. Nia obviously just understands how that champion works very well. Yubi's in trouble though. Bio might turn that around, but Nia's there to finish it up. Omega B using the last of his mana to get in there as well. I'm feeling like Viper might want to make a play here. He's got something to say to Nico. Ignite comes down though. Nico taking a lot of damage. There's the offense of Viper. Will get up. Oh, Viper orange!
Incredible stuff. Here comes Yubi stuff. Azir dashing out of there. I want to touch upon that. Rumble did end up getting the top lane. Yubi Insta almost fell as well. Lots of stuff happened during that fight. And Frost is still ahead there, but great answers. Great answer from Viper in the mid lane. One thing I wanted to touch upon before that fight went out of chaotically, the game that Frost did end up winning was when Corki was massive. Corki had a lot of kills to his name, and look where he's at now. Let's take a quick look at the gold count. He has quite a substantial lead, not that much over Lucien, but it's enough to get the ball rolling. We should be keeping an eye on Corky for this entire game to see if he can snowball his team into a victory here.
Leeson once again has been the deciding factor so far. It's only about 1,500 gold lead, and now that everybody has had their satiation with that lane fighting, it looks like we are going to see a little bit of attention, rather a lot of attention placed on towards that dragon as everyone's making their way down there. Rumble does have his TP, so this is going to be a big 10-man fight, it looks like.
I think the decisions are a little bit split. Irelia and there's a little bit separate. Omega B nukes the fish out of the water. Morning Melon manages to get out with the Black Shield. We're going to continue the pull. Rumble coming in. He's not able to really do anything at all there. But I think this is going to give Dragon dominance over to Azure side. Recalls are coming out. I don't know if they're going to decide to get the Scuttle Crab to apply even more pressure to that Dragon. But the pick, Nami's already back up. They all have to recall, and Dragon's going to be another topic of discussion within the next 2 minutes.
You can see that if Pantheon had used his ultimate, Rumble had used his ultimate, there was a very real possibility of that fight going into the side of Azure's favor there. I mean, it was very close. Had they committed, who knows which way it would have gone, but once all of those ultimates do come down at the proper time, that's going to be their moment to strike. They can't let they can't let Frost set up a second pick after they use it already. I mean, they got Nami. They need to win the fight right after that. They can't let Azure kind of just come back in the fight and fight it on their own terms.
Like I said, Dragon, another topic of discussion. Rumble does not have the teleport. Irelia did back off. She's going to be making her way to the Dragon pit. Pantheon backing off as well. This might be, is this the first Dragon of the game? I believe it is. If so, this will definitely put Frost ahead, but I think what Frost is doing is just baiting it instead, but the ward does come out. They have a lot of pink wards in that area. They want to see, I believe they want to fight. They want to start a fight. The snare does land onto Viper, but Morning Melon's going to back off of that.
I think Morning Melon knows that he needs the Black Shield to go in on those. Like we said, there's so many ways to stop it. Another pick on Nami.
I think they're going to engage you. Omega B is going to be the deciding factor. Rumble lands a great ult separating the team. Pantheon manages to fall first. The ult coming out from Azir separating the team as well. Double kill for Azure. Double kill for Azir. They're going to continue the chase. Viper's running low on mana. Rumble's going to have to be the one to clean up this fight. This might be an ace. Nami getting the kill onto Morgana. This is going to be an ace flashing over the wall. They're going to continue to chase him. Omega B. Is he going to fall? Ace for Azure!
Now, that is what I'm talking about. That is beautiful team fighting, understanding your composition. A flawless ace coming out of Azure, letting Frost know who the real A-team is here. These guys are looking for that early 4-game win, bringing it back 1,000 gold ahead now, and a Dragon on their side. That is a huge swing for the side of Azure.
That fight was extremely well played. The Rumble separated everybody into that fight, as well as Azir. Azure, I learned now, just after watching that fight, I legitimately just learned that that's the way that they're going to win each fight. They fight in tight corridors where Frost really has no ability. The only thing they have going for them is the mobility, but as you saw in that fight, Leeson used a lot of his abilities to catch up to Morgana, and he was left with nothing as soon as Rumble and Azir decided to sandwich them in that Morning Melon pie. To get back into the game, well, Frost is behind in goal, but to get Morning Melon getting caught out, that's not the way to get back into the game. Pantheon's going to continue the chase, but he kicks Pantheon away. The ult coming out, Athena never gives up, but his team's there to back him up.
I really do think that Ahri should have gone for a ZFG first, because if they don't instantly pop the person they pick and they don't deny at least one of those ultimates, what are you going to do? How are you going to follow up over an Azir wall? Azure is just so set up with their abilities. Look how big that Azir is as well. 138 farm, built up that CDR. He is a massive, massive Sand Soldier.
Looked like he was trying to get his footing in the early game, but he's definitely found the feats that he needs to place down in order to carry his team. He's not afraid to 2v1, he's not afraid to 3v1, he's really, really confident right now, and he's not letting anybody step on his toes. Azure looking really strong right now. I want to see what the next objective is going to be and how both teams are going to fight it out. A lot of the ultimates are back up, flashes are back up. Viper with one auto attack, Miko goes out to half HP. Holy moly.
Now I'm wondering, because Frost is sort of playing on the back foot now, I wonder if the fight is going to go the same way with Azure initiating as opposed to kind of counter-initiating. The ults don't work the same way unless they can sort of find them in the jungle, like you said, in those tight corridors where the Rumble ult basically just takes up all of the terrain. They're going to siege up on this tower though. I do believe they're going to get it. Pantheon looking for an ult, not going to hit anyone. But here is the Azir tower, and that just makes the siege so hard to deal with. AC does so much damage to these towers. I really do think we're going to need to see an engage here very shortly coming out from Frost. Otherwise, they're going to not have much room to breathe.
They almost got Ahri there with the combination with Viper and AC. It's going to make both teams back off, and this poke comp is working extremely well. Even if Viper is doing most of the poking, it's still working into their favor. They're pushing Frost back away from this turret incredibly on the back foot, but Omega Beast just trying to do as much damage as he can. Viper forced to use the ultimate to kind of just say, back off, bro, that's what his ultimate does. But tons of damage. Miko and Morning Melon falling dangerously low just by a few spells here and there. What does Frost need to do to get back into this fight?
Honestly, if that Azir tower wasn't there, I think they would have committed, especially because all of those ultimates were down from the side of Azure. Miko wants to go to the club tonight, I think.
Stay tuned for a party at Jackson's right after this event. He will be hosting a party that will go till 10 a.m. tomorrow. Be there or be square.
We'll have to see. If this game goes to Game 5, maybe. It's all up to Frost, actually. We'll have to see. Miko has the Black Shield on him this time around. Viper just ready with the ultimate in case Lee Sin decides to go in. Like we said, that Black Shield most likely does not allow Lee Sin to go over that wall, so bottom lane pushing against Azure in the bottom lane, obviously. There's a lot of pressure, as is the ult here.
They really want to push off of this wall that the Azure has developed. Morning Melon going in, they're going to get the pick off onto Rumble. Azure gets to go into the corner, the main damage dealer has fallen. Nami gets to turn the flash charm, oh my god! Azure goes in, he really wants to revenge his friends. AC gets the kill, oh my god, the damage is incredible! Almost an ace, Aurelia falling low, great fighting from Azure.
This is why Azir is such a good champion. He can be aggressive, he can poke, he can be up in your face, but at the same time, he can just be that bodyguard with the AD carry, can kite so well. And then of course you see just how easily they turned that back around on its head. Dragon coming up in 1 minute, that's gonna be the next big objective. We gotta see what kind of items are gonna be picked up from Azure here. It's 20 minutes into the game. 5k gold separating these two teams, and I do believe there's going to be a death cap completed onto Azir. How in the hell are Frost going to deal with that?
I think they were kind of dealing it with in that fight. They obviously need to focus Azir. They focused Rumble that fight. He's not the main focus. He's a distraction really. He has picked up the Zanyas already. Of course he's going to be doing damage, but Azir is more important. Land that snare, land that insect, land that slow from Aurelia, land anything and try to get Azir out of that fight. Refocus your attention back onto the Lucian. Rumble's going to be annoying, but he's not as annoying as Azir and Lucian are being right now. Infinity Edge, Static Shift coming out. AC is going to be doing a lot of damage. You got to keep an eye on him too.
Yeah, and I mean that's before Corki has even gotten his Triforce. A strange build coming from him, looking like he's going to switch into that IE. Very, very curious. This is looking like it's going to be the second dragon. Smartly not fought by the side of Frost. Oh my god!
It's Melon time! That's right, you know what it is. It was Melon time. It was his time to shine. He got that Dragon Steel. Is that their first Dragon of the game? That's going to give them a little bit of a damage boost, maybe a little bit of a confidence boost as well. But Azure pushing down this ball lane. What I've noticed about Azure is they really, really like turrets. They really, really like turrets. And Pantheon having to force the flash out there. AC at the front line, you're not a tank, kid. Ultimate title win, surfs up, Rocky not being manageable. Here comes Morty Melon, back with some revenge. Lots of damage coming out from Azure. They're gonna get the kill, maybe even the ace. Lots of damage, completely dominating the enemy team, and incredible play from Azure. Oh my god, that was incredible.
These guys are really showing that they deserve to be here. They've made it all the way through, hardly dropping a game. Only one from what I can tell. Looks like some sort of strange Caitlyn all going down here. I don't know what the deal is. Morgana's doing some crazy stuff. All the same, Azure's gonna back their way out of this fight, take a couple red buffs on their way out. I can't even imagine what next items they're gonna be. That last fight, Azir had on top of that death cap a blasting wand, a blue pod, so can't mess with the best.
Don't forget his relationship status. Azir is taken, ladies. The Doran's ring has been not. Not exactly sure who he's dating. Rek'Sai coming out, possibly a potential pick for his relationship lifestyle. They both like to get into the fight and get out at the same time. Bedroom is a little bit wonky from what I heard, but stay tuned for more information on your daily Azir gossip. Also, lots of damage onto Ahri as well. Not surprising at all. Azir is just... I'm speechless at his level of play right now.
Frost really needs to hold on. They need to farm out this bottom lane if they are going to get back in this game. They just can't even compare to the items it has completed on the side of Azir. Look at just how much they have compared to them. Like, Triforce is only just being completed compared to 3 items almost onto several of these champions. You'll be getting that vision down through the new ramp, and it looks like Azir is going to rotate towards that top lane. A very safe and very smart play. They might go for the Baron. A little bit curious, just pushing up that wave maybe, forcing that vision down there. They're going to walk right up to that Baron. Actually, a very smart play considering they would like to fight in the jungle, and it looks like Frost might give that to them right here.
The Baron is not falling that incredibly low. Irelia is just limping behind very slowly. Lots of damage onto Viper, but not that much at all, to be honest with you. But still taking dangerously low by Ahri's spells there. They're going to try to continue the poke, but Azur's engage is still very strong as well.
Beautiful play by them to not actually commit to that fight. They don't need to. Look at the bottom lane. Those super minions are getting in. Now they will start the Baron again to try and bait them back in. They don't need to commit though. They just are kiting them back and forth.
Frost is being stretched completely thin. All of their resources have been spent. This is all or nothing. Miko trying to land that sexy, delicious charm that would go into a highlight reel on Reddit. Not actually happening. But Viper being taken down. This is the fight that they need. They're going to focus onto Rumble. Zhonya's. That's not what you want, actually. They're going to get the kill onto Pantheon. Ace is still alive. That was a 2-for-2 exchange. But the bot lane minions are pushing through. The charm does land onto AC. He manages to kill the damage. He's going to return his focus. Oh my god, he got deleted!
Rumble coming around the backline. This is a game of preventing them from basing. He just wants to save them from going to stop those minions. That's what that Nami ult is for. Rumble has his ult in about 15 seconds. If he can wait that long, they can definitely turn it around. They've got the vision to keep them from basing. All this time, it's just more and more pressure. Oh my god!
I guess not. That was good. That was good. We had it going. We had it going. That was an incredible level of play. First-year students. Great skill coming out of him. He's going to be on the team for a long time, definitely. Showing his level of play is exceptional. Azure, from what I've noticed, plays very smooth. They don't let anything pass them, and they rotate like like I'm watching OGN right now. The rotations coming out from this team are incredible, and their focus on who they need to kill is incredible as well. I mean, nobody's perfect, but this has been really, really fun to watch.
Monty Cristo would be proud, of course. Even the way they played that Baron fight was quite impressive. Melon using his square to get away this time, but here comes a double line ultimates. AC gonna swag walk away from that one. Look at Viper. See how positioned he is in that mid lane. Not afraid at all. And of course, it's because he can rely on that ult.
Surf's up. They seem to be missing surfboards for that fight. Pantheon going in. Probably just to catch up to his team, but his team was limping behind. Not exactly the most smartest effort, but it definitely is used as a scare tactic. They might get this turret down. That'll be the second door open for Azure. The wall coming out to kind of block that re-engage or re-initiation that Frost has been known to try to complete throughout this fight. But they're just going to safely back off, pick up the dragon, maybe even rotate to Baron. Frost has to stay in their base because Azure has every lane pushed out.
Honestly, Azure hasn't gotten a whole lot off of that bottom inhibitor. It is back up now. They got a dragon, it's okay, they got a couple kills. They're going to continue to build their lead, but overall, I would have to say that inhibitor going down is actually in the favor of Frost. You can see they've caught back up in kills. They need to just get a couple towers and a couple dragons, and they will be very much even in this game. Infinity Edge completed for Corki. Of course, that is the new Infinity Edge. That means there's less of it. It's not as strong as it once was. However, Deathfire Grasp is finished on the side of Ahri, and that is important. Like we said, they need to pop somebody immediately.
Frost needs to find their fight. They almost had it around that Baron. They're checking the Baron now to make sure that Azure is not there. Rumble's pushing into that ball lane. He wants to get that inhib popped again, and he has a teleport that he's going to be able to re-engage that fight. Morning Melon out of position a little bit there. An entire team is running down straight for that inhibitor. Like I said, the rotations, translations, incredible decision play from Azure.
Honestly, I think Frost should have seen this coming. Of course, it is the open inhibitor, and this is where they should have set the pick. Let's see if they still have time. Looking for the binding, not finding it. Ultimate coming down, just chunking, making sure they can get that tower, or are they committed?
They're gonna be able to get this inhib because they've just been bullying Frost the entire time, making them standing on their heels, not being able to do that much at all. And they're gonna rotate and get this turret as well, possibly even the inhibitor, probably not. But the combination of all the spells, Afiva turning into glass, golden style, lots of fight going on. Lucian getting the kill out to Morgana. Pantheon continuing the chase. He's going to get stopped by Nia. Nico gets executed by Pantheon. They're going to continue the chase onto Nia, but they're going to just refocus for the base. That's all they really need to do to win. They've been playing the game exactly how they need to play it, and all that's left is to just take the base.
The best teams in the game always force you to make commitments that will make you lose, and that's exactly what Azure did to Frost right there. They made them engage without finding their pick, and that is how they have been so successful as a team. You can see 31 minutes into the game, 24 kills to 19, a 10,000 gold lead, and continuing to grow at 2 inhibitors down. I think this is going to be a matter of time before Azure goes for the third or the Baron and push on to close this out.
That was incredibly well done. Pantheon stopped the back from Irelia. Most of the time that you see in low elo, Pantheon probably would have just farmed Wraiths or something back there. But instead he ulted on ball lane, caught out the Irelia, and they managed to pick her off too. Just completely merciless in their fight against Frost, doing exactly what they need to do to keep the pressure. And the pressure is just, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. I can feel it. I'm not even in the game. It's immense. They just keep, and Morning Melon's going to get caught out here as well. The entire team always sticks together. Viper gets kicked back, says no thank you, I don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness. Morning Melon gets caught out, gets completely decimated by the enemy team. Oh my god, they're going to push down that top lane and possibly end the game.
Omega B trying to make something happen here against Frost, but here's his entire team. Miko looking for a charm, not going to find it. Of course, AC is so strong, just going right in there. AC looking for more.
The ultimate coming out from Rumble. They're going to continue the chase. Oh my god, instant from Viper. UB instant falling down by the Pantheon.
got you. Viper getting stunned up on you, but he's gonna continue the chase. He gets the kill, and that's gonna be game.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a formality here. AC so strong, easily can 2v1 these guys. Look at him go through that tower, doesn't even care. Morning Melon, I will see you later. Oh my God! The winners of the Frostpeak tournament are UOT Azure! I'm so hyped, man. Holy shit.
You're welcome, man.
Alright, let's do a little sign on to the camera.
Yo.
We'll do a little sign on to the camera while they do.
I had to get you back because in the first finals that I did,
Camera. Talk to the camera. We're talking to the camera. At least to talk to me.
what I did in the finals, I was so burnt out of energy. I don't know what I did all this energy, and I was just so shit. My play-by getting it over. Necton's about to fall, and he never died the entire game. He had 0 deaths in the whole finals. I had to get you back, man.
That does seem to be it, guys. Out there in Twitch land. I'm just in time. Actually, internet is cutting out in about 10 minutes, so thankfully the League of Legends gods are with us, and that has been the winners. Obviously, being Azure playing phenomenally in their final game of the match. And I mean, finally we see the Azir come out. It took the entire tournament, but finally we see it, and I was definitely not let down.
Definitely, that was an exceptional game. They played it how they needed to play it. Aggressive, OGN, C9, whatever you want to call it. I say C9, not TSM, because Muskie is going to be really salty about that. But well played, nevertheless, by Azure.
Yeah, and aren't going to give away an MVP, guys. We're going to have to see what is available. It's going to be a Skull Candy headset going over to the MVP. Let me know when you're done. Okay, so that's going to be the, I'm not sure if we're going to do MVP or favorite player. We'll have to decide. But a nice Skull Candy headset being brought over to them, courtesy of Red Bull.
That's it.
I think that is it. So guys, from us here, live at the Earth Sciences building, it's been a hell of a show, hell of a roller coaster, and I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. This was the 2015 Frostpeak tournament, brought to you in part by the University of Toronto Student Union, along with University of Toronto League of Legends Association. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors at Gamebox. Thank you guys so much. There's a whole bunch of cute looking guys out there with their Gamebox shirts on, and Red Bull as well. Thank you for helping us out. Asus for coming by, dropping up some shirts, and once again, thank you to the University of Toronto Student Union. This is Muskie Bad, and we're signing off.
See you out.